Hello, I'm Nina Simone, and today we are discussing another subject that hits close to home, and it's revolving around the parent and the adult prodigal child who's living at home. And today's title is Living at Home Still Comes with Responsibility. And this message is for both the parent and the adult child, if you're listening. Um, a lot of parents are quietly becoming emotionally frustrated and exhausted in their own home. And it's because they have an adult child living there, and not necessarily because their child is a bad person, but because they feel like they are carrying the weight of everything all by themselves, even though there's another adult living there. Now, I want to say something carefully because I know there are adult children listening too, but most parents are not expecting perfection. They're expecting participation, and there's a difference. A lot of parents are not asking for huge things, they're asking for basic responsibility, help around the house, cleaning up after yourself, not having to repeat the same conversations over and over again. Maybe helping financially if and when you're able, and maybe noticing things without having to be chased down about it constantly. And over time, what hurts the parents most is not always the mess itself. It's feeling unseen, unheard. It's feeling like you see me carrying everything and still leave more for me to deal with. And that becomes emotionally heavy after a while, especially when the parent is already tired mentally, emotionally, physically, and even financially. And sometimes adult children mistake comfort for stability. Like, just because your parent allows you to stay there does not mean responsibility disappears. That home is still costing someone something. You know, electricity, water, groceries, wear and tear, emotional labor, mental stress, constant upkeep. You know, all the bills, all the things. And one thing I think adult children sometimes miss is that respect is not only how you talk to your parent, but respect also shows up in how you contribute, how you carry yourself, whether you help without being forced, whether you leave peace or more stress in the home, and whether your presence feels like support or another responsibility. There are parents who feel more drained after their adult child has moved back home and not less. And many parents feel guilty talking about this because they don't want to sound controlling or harsh or unloving. But asking an adult child to contribute to the environment they live in is not unreasonable. That's adulthood. And honestly, initiative matters. There's something powerful about an adult child who notices the trash is full. Let me take it out. The kitchen needs cleaning. Let me help. My parent looks tired. Let me lighten the load just a little bit. Mhm. Parents notice those things, not because they need perfection, but because consideration feels loving. Now, I do want to say this too because balance matters. Some adult children are struggling emotionally. Some are overwhelmed and battling with depression, confusion, immaturity, or lack of direction. And I get that. But struggle cannot become a permanent exemption from your responsibilities. At some point, adulthood has to develop. At some point, accountability has to grow. And at some point, you have to learn that if I live somewhere, I should contribute something positive to that environment. And parents, this part is important too. You cannot keep over functioning for an adult child while secretly becoming resentful. That resentment eventually leaks into the atmosphere of your home. And sometimes, parents, we have to stop begging for basic help and start establishing clearer expectations, boundaries, and clearer consequences. Not from anger, not from rejection, but from wisdom. Because constantly tolerating irresponsibility without accountability usually makes the problem worse. And an adult child needs to understand this too. Your parent would not be here forever carrying everything for you. Learning responsibility now matters. Learning discipline matters. Learning how to contribute to a home matters. These patterns can eventually follow you into relationships, marriages, jobs, finances, and future households. And understand this conversation is bigger than just chores. It's about maturity, respect, responsibility, and learning how to function as an adult with consideration for others. And honestly, a peaceful home requires everybody in it to contribute to that peace. So I hope this resonated with you, and I pray that you find eventually peace in your home.